Hello students, welcome to the World History series of lectures. We are in lecture 2. In the previous lecture we have discussed about Dark Age and we have discussed the Renaissance movement and also we have discussed the Reformation movement. So in present lecture we will discuss about Counter Reformation movement and also maritime discoveries which was done by various nations in Europe. So let us start today's topic, that is Counter Reformation movement. This Counter Reformation movement, the name itself indicates it is counter to Reformation movements which was done by Protestants. So this Counter Reformation was done by Catholics. So when they have done, it is done in 16th century. Why? What is the reason to do it? Bole to reform and to strengthen the Catholic Church. To reform and to strengthen the Catholic Church, the Catholic people have performed or have done this movement called as Counter Reformation movement. It is counter to the Reformation movement, and its another reason is to arrest the progress of Protestantism in Europe. So that is Counter Reformation movement. In other words, if I put, it means a reformation within the Catholic Church. Catholic Church में अंदर ही reformation हो रहा था, और Catholic Reformation it can also be called as without disturbing the unity of Catholic Church. So unity को नहीं disturb करा था उन्हें. So the Counter Reformation movement was done by the Catholics against to the Protestant movement, and what its main aim is to reform and to strengthen the Catholic Church. So a Counter Reformation movement has two main features. So what are the two main features in this Counter Reformation movement? The first, obviously, the reformation of the Catholic Church, and the second one is, in light of this reformation, the church should be set. Church should be established in such a way that no one should abuse the church, because the Protestants has abused the church is becoming overpowered, church is having estates, and church is taking out all the money which was present in the king and influencing the king, and church is ruling like an autocratic ruler. So now they were aiming that church should not be abused by anyone and it should be respected by all the people, and in turn, like, it also want to make some reformation measures in the society also. So not only reformating itself, it want to bring the reformation measures in the society. So this is about the introduction of the Counter Reformation movement. Then we will discuss about the factors that led to this Counter Reformation movement. So what are the factors? There were especially three major factors that led to the Counter Reformation movement. First one is spiritual and moral papacy. And second one is the activity of new religious orders like Society of Jesus, etc., that we will discuss in the upcoming slides. And the third factor is the labors of the Council of Trent. So now we will discuss about the first factor, that is spiritual and moral papacy. So what is the spiritual and moral papacy? So in the middle of 16th century के middle में, the popes that were appointed for the Catholic Church were reformatory popes or reforming popes. Like, since the Pope Paul III, the popes were stood for their, or they were remarkable for their morals, they were remarkable for their discipline, and they were remarkable for their reforming zeals. Earlier the popes used to be very corrupt, and they used to have acquiring the estates and having the illegal marriages. But now, after 16th century, during this Counter Reformation movement, the Catholic Church may appointed popes who are very moral people, disciplined people, and they have the reforming zeal. And they are free from all worldly pleasures. They don't enjoy all these worldly pleasures. They were very free from these worldly pleasures. And in turn, they led a life of simple life. They led very simple life and the life of austerity. life of austerity, very simple life they have led. And they were known for they were renowned for their virtues. They are renowned for their ethics. And they were very learned persons. They are very learned persons, and their learning have made them so good. So good in turn they have made for the reformation of the church. And by the year 1600 AD, the papacy or the total pope and the officials who are appointed to the church and the clergy people, having been very reformative, and these people have instilled the new vigor and strength to the Catholic Church and Catholicism. So Catholicism and Catholic Church को new vigor and strength को install करा था कौन? ये spiritual and moral papacy in the sense pope and affiliated people who are related with the church. So this is about the spiritual and the moral papacy. This is the first factor which led for the counter-reformation movement. And the second factor which led for the counter-reformation movement is establishment of new religious orders. So what are these new religious orders in the sense? Order in the sense a group of people here. So there were three major new religious orders which are established at that time, which led for Catholic revival. Catholic revival ke liye three new religious orders were established. The first one was Order of Theotins. Order of Theotins. And the second one was the Order of Capuchins. Order of Capuchins. So the third one is the Order of the Jesus of the Society of Jesus, that we will discuss in the next slide. So the first is Order of Theotins. It was founded by Giovanni Pietro Caraffa in 1524. So like it has many members, prominent members were there in this Order of Theotin or the group of Theotins. So iski main aim what tha? The Catholic people, they were the Catholic people, and they led this is the new religious order. They led very simple life, and they served the sick and poor people. So this is the Order of the Theotins, and this also became one of the major factors for the counter-reformation movement. And then Order of Capuchins. So it was established or founded in 1528 with the blessings of Pope Clement VII. So the members of this order led very simple life, very common life, and very ideal life. They have paid their allegiance to Bible. So whatever there in the Bible, they used to obey that. And they paid their allegiance to the Jesus also. So whatever the Jesus has taught, they used to do that. They they strictly followed vegetarian diet only. And they walked barefooted. That doesn't wear any chappals which was made by the animal skin. And they lived in a very, very small cottages. And they dedicated their lives for the service to the humanity. So there is a greater reformation happening in this new religious orders also. They were leading a very simple life, pious life, and they were servicing the humanity. So in turn this has made, or it became one of the cause or the reason for the counter-reformation movement. And the third religious order is the Order of Jesus. Order of Jesus, or the Society of the Jesus, or the Society of Jesus. So the Society of the Jesus was founded by, so who founded the Society of the Jesus bole to? Ignatius Loyola. Ignatius Loyola have founded the Society of the Jesus in 1534, and this Ignatius Loyola is a soldier in the Spanish army. Spain ki army mein iski soldier tha, and he fought in support of the Charles V, who is the Spain king at that time, and he fought against the French people ke against me he fought, but he was wounded in this fighting, and he was hospitalized. When he was hospitalized, he used to read many books related to the life and teachings of Jesus, and the biographies of great saints. Biographies of the great saints ko unhe padha tha. So the lives and teachings of the Jesus and the great saints biographies ko padha tha, which has profound impact on him. So he was impacted by this greater teachings and learnings. Then he decided that he should serve the glory of the God instead of the glory of the Spain. So he should serve for the glory of the God. So what he meant to say is, he want to establish, or he want to say what actually is God and what actually God has taught. So at the age of 33, he studied different classics and Christian theology Christian ki theology and philosophy at the University of Paris. These three he have studied in the University of the Paris, and it was at the Paris mein hi the Loyola have established the Society of the Jesus. At the first time, the society intended to do the missionary work. So what is meant by missionary work? Service to the mankind or service to the poor people. Missionary work करने के लिए सोचा था उन्हें. And like what actually the Society of the Jesus, and what actually the members of the Society of the Jesus were called. The members of the Society of the Jesus were called as Jesuits. So the founder, he was like Ignatius Loyola was a founder by a soldier. He was a soldier, right? So the Society of the Jesus was based on two principles. So the Society of the Jesus was based on two principles. That is, first is discipline, and the second one is unquestionable obedience to the superior. And whoever the members, the Jesuits who joined in this the Society of the Jesus has to promise or to take three traditional vows. So what are their vows? They should be they should be in a poverty bole to very simple life, and they should follow chastity, and they should be obedience to, or they should be having allegiance to the Pope. So these were the three traditional vows which should be taken by the Jesuits to enter into this order of the Jesus, and these Jesuits should become devoted soldiers, or the devoted members of the Jesus. So Jesus ke hi devote karna tha, and they should have their work in missionary. So they should do some missionary, and these people have rebrought or restored the glory and authority and the glory of the Catholic Church. And they set up a number of missionaries. For the propagation of the Catholic religion in the Europe and other countries. So mostly these Jesuits have dedicated their lives for as a teachers, or the priests, or doctors, or laborers, and engaged themselves in politics, diplomacy, and great debates also. So in turn they influenced many peoples, and they restored the glory and the authority of the Catholic churches. So this is about the Society of the Jesus, and this is also one of the factor which led for the Counter-Reformation movement. And the third major factor is the labors of the Council of Trent. So the idea of reforming the Catholic Church was very remote, and yet it should be materialized. So it should be materialized means it should form its shape. So the labors of the Council of the Trent actually materialized the reformatory work or the Counter-Reformation movement. So it in turn can be said as it formed as a basis for the materialization of Counter-Reformation movement. So what is this labors of the Council of Trent? So this is just an assembly of the people. This is just a meeting of the people. It is Council of Trent in 1545. So why they have assembled, or why they have made boleto? In order to restore unity in Catholic Church. So it was made under, or it was headed by Charles V, who is the Holy Roman Emperor, and he summoned this Council of Trent 1545. And the Protestants have boycotted this Council of Trent because they were opposite to the Catholics. And in turn, this Council of the Trent, or the Council, held 3 sessions from 1545 to 63 at place called as Trent. So it is called as Council of Trent, and it took number of measures. And this Council of Trent have took number of the measures for restoration and regeneration of Catholic Church. So regeneration करने के लिए, Catholic Church को regeneration करने के लिए, Catholic Church को restoration करने के लिए a number of the measures लिया था. So what are the measures that we will discuss now? So the measures which was took by the Council of Trent. So the first one is it confirmed once again that that the historic tradition and Bible should be the basis of Christian religion. And it also recognized the Pope as the supreme head and authority of church. So what it have said that The Bible should be the Bible should be the basis of the Christian religion, and the Pope should be the supreme authority and head of the church. And it condemned the preachings of Protestantism. It condemned the preachings of Protestantism, and it have said that a model Christian or the compulsory Christian should follow 7 sacraments, and he should do some good works. And in turn, it also said that, like, this Council of the Trent has made a measure that it has forbidden the sale of church offices and sale of indulgences. So what is indulgence? That we have discussed in the previous lecture, that selling of the papers for sins. So in return to the sins, if we bought these papers, then our sin will be forgiven by the God. So the sale of church offices and the indulgence was stopped by this Council of the Trent. And in turn, it has said that the bishops or the popes should lead a very normal life, and they should leave all worldly pleasures को leave करना था. And it has set up the many number of seminars and started educating these church key officials and popes. And it also said that, like, we can use the vernacular languages to deliver the sermons. Sermons means religious teachings other than Latin. Latin के साथ vernacular languages भी use करे तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा reach होगा. So most people will listen that, because most of the people don't know Latin. So in turn, we can spread our Catholicism or the Catholic religion, so like Catholic sect of the Christianity, so very well. And it also said that it also banned some of the books. It has banned some of the books, and these books should not be read by a Catholic person or the Catholic Pope. And in turn, it has refurbished, or it has improved the essence of Catholicism. So essence of the Catholicism was improved. So we have discussed all the factors that led to the Counter-Reformation movement. So the Counter-Reformation movement has happened. And what are the effects of this Counter-Reformation movement? ये effects को, first thing is, owing to this Counter-Reformation movement, half of the European continent remained under Catholic religion only. They haven't changed their sect of Christianity, means they haven't went to the Protestantism. They have remained in Catholicism only. And due to this Counter-Reformation movement, the result of this Counter-Reformation, one of the result was outbreak of religious wars in Europe. At the beginning of the 17th century में, and it was known as 30 Years' Wars. So who fought in these wars? बोले तो Catholics versus Protestants. Because Catholics also reformed themselves, and the Protestants were the Reformation, or they were the members of these Protestants. So in turn, there is a fighting between these two sects of the Christianity. So 30 years ये war चल रहा था. And the third effect of this Counter-Reformation movement, or the impact of this Counter-Reformation movement, is like religious strife has happened. So mostly in Catholic countries में, like France and England, the Protestant wants, the Protestant king should throne these Catholic countries. And in Protestant countries, like in England, the Catholic king, the people or the Catholics wanted the Catholic king to throne this England. So this religious strife or the religious struggle happened, and the people of northern, some drastic changes was also happened due to this Counter-Reformation movement. The people of north part of this Netherlands की north part have revolted against the Catholic King Philip II of Spain, and they achieved independence. So this is the political thing which happened after the Counter-Reformation movement. And to champion the cause of Catholic religion in Europe, Philip II. Why? Because the Philip II of the Spain had interfered in the internal politics of the France and England. And this internal politics may Philip II have involved, and this has led to the rivalry between England and Spain. And this culminated to the War of Armada. So in this war of Armada, the Philip II got defeated. Philip II got defeated. In turn, due to the defeat, like northern part of the Netherlands people have revolted against him, and they gained independence. So, and the sixth cause or the impact is, it was the Protestant religion that served as a common bond between England and Scotland, and there was to sever their relation with the Rome and paved the way for the unification. So due to this Protestant, like Catholic Reformation movement के बाद, the England and Scotland was not differentiated, but they united to form the United Kingdom, and this unification was happen because in common what they have, hatred towards the Pope or Rome. So in turn they both got united and the unification of the England happened. So these are the causes of the Counter-Reformation movement. Then we will discuss about the events that led to the great maritime discoveries at the beginning of the modern era. So the most notable event at the beginning of the modern Europe was the discovery of modern Europe की starting में or the beginning में, the most notable event is the discovery of new ocean routes to the distant part of the world, to the different parts of the distant parts of the world. So the geographical knowledge, the earlier the Europe की people, the geographical knowledge was only confined to Europe or the coast of Mediterranean and the coast of Africa and the Southwest Asia. They know up to this only. And in the Middle Ages, this geographical knowledge was extended even to America. They know America also. They know some Far East nations also. So at the beginning of the 16th century, this great maritime discoveries happened. So the events that we have to know, the events which led to the great maritime discoveries. So the first events or the first thing that led to the maritime discovery is commercial contacts between Europe and Eastern countries. Eastern countries के बीच में, Europe and Eastern countries के बीच में commercial contact is very less at starting. But in the Middle Ages, when in the Middle Era or the Dark Ages, what happened? The Eastern countries have supplied spices, like they supplied some stones, herbs, some silk, ivory, diamonds, etc. So these products have huge demand in Europe. These goods have a great demand in the European market, and the Euro people have felt that without these goods, their life will be so gloomy and dull. So in turn, what happened? The routes through which these goods reach Europe. So the routes, some routes, like they should have some routes, right, to reach these goods from the Eastern countries to the Europe. These routes have greater difficulties, or this way have greater difficulties because like in these routes we have robbers who rob these items, and even we have pirates, and even like some landlords used to extort huge amount of the money. Extortion of landlords used to be happen. But like as a result, the Eastern trade became very costly, and it also became very risky. And moreover, in the Middle Ages, the Eastern trade was monopolized, or the Eastern trade was only controlled by two Italian cities. Italy ki two cities only controlled this Eastern trade, that is Venice and Genoa. And the Italian merchants became very rich because like these goods and commodities has huge market in the European market, or the huge demand in these European markets, and they sold them for higher prices. These Italian merchants who control this Eastern trade, and they got this market or they got this different commodities, and they have sold them for the higher prices in the European market, and they have prospered so much. And in turn, what happened? The other people have looked after these Italian merchants and the marketers, and they felt very jealous. So this has compelled the Europeans to have direct contact with the Eastern countries. Why? Because if they have the direct contact with the Eastern countries, the commodities will reach for lesser prices to them, and they can enjoy more and more commodities. And the Italian merchants will not control this Eastern trade. So they want to establish their direct relations with the the eastern countries. And in turn, at this time, what happened? The Turks have captured the Constantinople. Constantinople court Turks have captured in 1453 and blocked the way of Mediterranean way, where this goods or these eastern countries ke goods will reach the Europe. So eastern countries के goods will reach the Europe through this Mediterranean way. ये Mediterranean way को Turks ने block किया था. So this compelled the Europeans. This have compelled the Europeans to sail westwards, and to find new routes. So this is Europe and this is Africa. They have to sail like this, and this is Cape of Good Hope, and they have to reach the eastern countries like India. So in turn, they started sailing towards the westwards. And the fifth factor or the event that led to the great maritime discovery is Renaissance. So what is that? Renaissance. This Renaissance has stimulated the youth of Europe. It has stimulated the youth of Europe to undertake new adventures or ventures. Why? Because at that time, it was an age of hungry for lands and gains. And in Europe, if you see the situation, there was an acute poverty and overpopulation is there. So this beginning of the modern Europe also drove every nation, or the modern Europe ki every nation had they started to undertake new voyages. They started to undertake new voyages of discoveries. And the sixth event that led to the great maritime discoveries is the religious zeal of church to spread Christianity all over the world. So the religious zeal of the church to spread the Christianity all over the world made the Christian missionaries have traveled to the distant lands, and these in the distant land the Christianity is spreaded. So in turn, what happened? These different nations have established their colonies in Africa and Far East. So the Christian missionaries have also followed the European merchants to the far off lands. And the seventh event that led to the maritime discoveries is the amazing account which was given by Marco Polo. So the Marco Polo, in his book named The Travels, have given an amazing account or amazing description about the East or the Eastern countries and its fabulous wealth. Not only roused the curiosity in the Europeans, but also stirred the minds of educated Europeans. So European people and the European the educated youth ko curiosity फैला गया था by reading the book of Marco Polo. And the eighth factor that led to the great maritime discovery is the theory that the earth is round. So the theory was proved that the earth is round, and the invention of mariner's compass. So the invention of the mariner's compass further served as the stimulant for this navigators. So by this compass, the navigators used to navigate very easily, and the earth is round. Key theory have also paved the way for the geographical discoveries. And the ninth factor which led to the great maritime discovery is the national spirit or the nationalism, which started in the nations of the Europe, and the invention of gunpowder. The invention of the gunpowder also induced the countries of the Europeans to compete for their supremacy, not only in the Europe but also in the distant lands. So all the things have led for the great maritime discoveries. So the discovery of the new oceanic routes was done by different nations. So among these nations of Europe, it was the Portugal and Spain has led the way in this race of geographical explorations. So the Portugal and the Spain have started this geographical exploration. The Portugal, first we will deal about the Portugal. Portugal king tha at that time, he is Prince Henry. So this Prince Henry, he is called as Navigator of Portugal. He founded a school for sailors. And adventurer mariners. So under his leadership, the Portugal became a great maritime power. Maritime power means sea route mein chalna power tha. So it was related to the sea and ocean, like the maritime, oceanic power, or the blue power, or the maritime ki power. So in 1487, 1487 में the Portuguese sailor named Bartolomeu Diaz was the first person who reached the southernmost tip of the Africa, and he named actually the southernmost tip of the Africa was named as Cape of Storms, but he renamed it as the Cape of Good Hope because or since it gave hope to discover a new route to the east. So it gave hope to discover a new route to the east. And later in 1498, as you already know, that another Portuguese navigator called Vasco da Gama followed this route of the Diaz and reached India through this Cape of Good Hope and Indian Ocean. Similarly, Cabral namak ek person of the Portuguese sailor only, he accidentally founded or accidentally discovered the Brazil. So this is about the Portugal and its geographical or maritime discoveries. Then we will discuss about the Spain. Spain at that time was ruled by Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. So as you already know, the Christopher Columbus discovered the West Indies and America. West Indies को discover करा था उन्हें and America भी discover करा था, and he thinked this America as India, where he intended actually to go. First he was in a route to discover India, but he reached West Indies and America. And the greatest maritime expeditions of this period was done by Magellan. Magellan was a person who have done the first circumnavigation. The Magellan and his team have done this first circumnavigation of the world. So what is meant by the circumnavigation? Let us assume this is India, and they went from the India and they traveled throughout this total earth, and they reached again to the India. So this is surrounding the earth once, circumnavigation. So Magellan was a Portugal captain who received help from the king of Spain. He received some money, and Magellan explored the southernmost point of America की southernmost point की explore करा था, and he reached the Pacific Ocean. He crossed the Pacific Ocean and he reached to Philippines. In Philippines he was killed, but his team has again reached to the Spain. So first circumnavigation of the world was done by the Spanian the Portuguese captain he is considered to be as, but he was helped by the Spain people. So he is considered to be as a Spanian Magellan. And this is the geographical discoveries or the great maritime discovery at the period of Spain or in the Spain. Then we will discuss about England. So under the patronage of Henry VII of England, the John Cabot, he is a Venetian navigator, crossed the Atlantic Ocean को cross करा था and discovered the Cape Breton Islands को discover करा था. So this is about the geographical discoveries at that time by different nations. So what are the effects or results of this geographical discoveries? The geographical discoveries of the 16th century had a far-reaching effect on political, social, economic and cultural map of Europe. So in fact it radically transformed the entire Europe in all walks of life. There were different results. So first we will discuss the political results. So political result में क्या हुआ था? Political result. So the advent of Europeans to the Asia and the distant lands was a great momentous event at that time. And the Europeans first Europeans who came to the Asia as the traders, and then they interfered with the politics of the Asia and they conquered the Asia. Who? Europeans. So these Asian people resisted this European key entry, but after subjugation of the European after subjugation of the countries by the European power, they started fighting with these European powers or the European countries. So in turn what happened, these Europeans have totally destroyed the civilizations of the Asian people, and these Europeans have looked these Asian people with utmost contempt. And as you know, like, which is nothing but a tragedy of all history which was happened, that was happened in India also. These Europeans came, interfered and conquered, and we resisted, fighted back. They have seen us with contempt, civilization. So all these things has happened. So it's the first effect or the result of Europeans entering into the distant lands through the geographical maritime discoveries. And since every European nation is conquered, or the European nation have conquered some or the other part of the world, so European ki problems or the European nation ki problems have become the problems of the world. So the European politics grew as the world politics. So the European problems, so every European nations have conquered some or the other part of the world. So problems of the European nations have become the problems of the world, and the European politics grew into the world politics. This is the second political result. And the third one is the race of colonial and commercial supremacy started. Colonial and commercial supremacy have started between the nations of the Europe, and this had led to the bitter rivalries between the European nations, bitter wars between the European nations, and this has not stopped till today. And the fourth is the middle class of the European nations. The middle class of the European nations have grown rich and very powerful, and they have suppressed these feudal lords and nobles, and they have occupied the position below the king, and they started influencing the king also. So in turn, they were supporting the king, not influencing the king, they were supporting the king, and they have suppressed these feudal lords and the nobles. Thus this has led for the establishment of absolute national monarchies in Europe. Absolute national monarchies means king is supreme. Whatever the king says is the supreme thing. So when the feudal lords and nobles were there, they used to influence the king. But this middle class has just supported the king, and the king became absolute. And whatever the king says is the final. Then we will discuss about the social results of this maritime discovery. So social results, what happened? Due to the introduction of many new articles like tobacco, coffee and tea, the European people ki social comfort was increased. Social comfort of the European people got increased. And the second thing is the steady growth of industry and commerce. So there is a growth in industry and commerce which has led to the rise of middle class happened. So middle class was grown enormously, and they became rich and rich due to the flourishment or the growth in the industry and commerce. And this middle class has played a very predominant role in political and cultural movements in Europe. And due to colonization of the distant land, colonization ki process we will discuss in the upcoming slides. Due to this colonization of the European countries, to distant land of Asia, the problems of poverty and overpopulation of the European nations have solved for some time temporarily. And the demand of coffee and tobacco, etc., led to the extensive cultivation in America. So extensive cultivation हुआ था in America. So इसी वजह से they need this, for the extensive cultivation they need large amount of the labor. So for this, Africa was seen as the land of savage, and the Negro people were enslaved or slaved by these British and Dutch people, and they have sold to the American planters. This has led to the horrible custom of slave trade. So the slave trade ki roots have been there through this geographical maritime discoveries, and it's a social result of the geographical maritime discoveries. Then we will discuss about the economic result. So what happened in these European nations due to this geographical maritime discoveries? So due to extensive maritime commerce, like for maritime what we need ship. So the shipbuilding industry have developed tremendously, and in turn larger and larger ships were produced for carrying large amount of the goods. So this was the first thing. And the second result, economic result, was new explorations have led for development of the newer countries. Earlier only these Italian cities like Genoa and Venice were rich, but now the different oceanic ported countries, or the port-led countries like England में Lisbon and London was greatly developed, or they became very rich due to this economic result of the geographical discovery. And the third thing is large scale trade with various countries. So there is a large scale trade with the various countries. So in turn, for this large scale trade, the traders need some banks. So the banking houses were started due to this, and large joint stock companies like English East India Company, French East India Company, every joint stock companies have developed, and in turn this has led to exploitation of the colonies. And this is about the economic result. Exploitation of the colonies be one of the factors. So this is the economic result. Then we will see the cultural result. So cultural result of this great maritime discovery. So what happened in this cultural results? The most important cultural result was Europeanization of world. Europeanization of world. So the European culture and Christianity traveled to the various part of the world, and these Europeans came into contact with the new regions, new people, new cultures, new religions, and their knowledge was enriched, and they started imposing their culture, European culture and European language and European method of education on this people, on this Asiatic people. So the spread of Europeanization of the world was happened, and we can see the example of Europeanization of the world. Earlier we used to wear some dhotis or paijamas, etc. But now we are influenced by this Britishers at the time, and we started wearing like pants, trousers, shirts, etc. So this is the Europeanization of India. And so new contacts have quickened. These new contacts with these eastern countries have quickened the intellectual movement in Europe, and it led for the Renaissance also. So this is about the great maritime discoveries and iske result tha. Then we will discuss one of the major important topics of the world history, that is mercantilism. So what is meant by this mercantilism, and what was the impact on the social, economic and political arena of the Europe, we will discuss. First we will discuss what is the meaning of mercantilism. So the modern meaning is different from the meaning of mercantilism at that time. So first we will discuss the modern meaning. Modern meaning of the mercantilism is regulation of economic affairs, especially trade and commerce or industry by the government. So if the Indian government, let us take an example, the Indian government is regulating the economic affairs, like regulating the trade, how much we have to trade, how much we have to do the trade with the other people, and these many industries you should produce, you should establish. If India is regulating that, or Indian government is regulating the economic affairs of the country, then it can be seen as a mercantilism. But at that time this इंग्लैंड में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एंड डिफरेंट यूरोपियन नेशंस में ये mercantilism के कॉन्सेप्ट चला था. सो इंग्लैंड have regulation of economic affairs, especially in trade and commerce and industry, has happened. But in the history of the Europe, so this is the modern meaning. Then we have to know about the history of the Europe and special meaning and significance of this mercantilism. So geographical discoveries and rise of nation states के बारे में अगले लेक्चर में हमें बात करते थे. So this rise of nations and nation states and geographical discoveries had brought a great economic change or economic activity in Europe. So Europe में earlier, before this geographical discoveries and the nation states, there used to be their urban mercantilism. So urban mercantilism बोले तो mercantile guilds used to be there. Guilds means like all the people who want to make a product, they all were situated in one place. Suppose for example, like chocolate making people. So they were all present in some locality. That is chocolate making guild. Some iron making people. So that was iron making guild. This is the urban mercantilism at that time. And craft guilds were also there. So what are the craft guilds? बोले तो manufacturing of goods. So this is for commerce, trade and commerce करने के लिए, and this is for manufacturing. Manufacturing means here the manufacturing of the product will takes place, and they will send to these urban guilds, and ये urban guilds में commerce होते थे, trade and commerce होते थे. So this was happening in 16th century. So 16th century thing was concept of the mercantilism in Europe at the 16th century will be discussed now. So I think you are clear about this urban mercantilism and craft guilds. Craft guilds bole to at the time of 16th century, the manufacturing of the products used to be happen in these localities, and these manufactured components used to be sent to these guilds, and ye guilds se trade and commerce hote the. So they will be exported or imported to the other countries. So mercantilism in Europe. So the concept started during 17th and 18th century, and this was in a century में doctrine of mercantilism was prevalent. So what is meant by this doctrine of mercantilism? It denotes that gold and silver were considered to be the essence of wealth. Essence of wealth. So if a country or the person, if we have to decide that person as a rich or he is a wealthy person, then he should possess huge amount of gold and silver. Hence the chief aim of every nation of the Europe has became to keep as much as gold and silver as possible in their royal treasuries. So royal treasuries में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा silver and gold को accumulate करना ही major aim of the nations of the Europe at that time. So like how this gold and silver reserves will be maintained or improved. So that will be improved by making huge amount of trade and commerce. So trade and commerce करे तो if we export more and if we import less. So if we export more at the time, like commodities, X country, Y country. So if X country export something, Y country like A commodity is in need in Y country, then A commodity will be exported by X country and it will be imported to the Y country, and it will pay back the price in gold and silver. And if B country export, like A country is in a need of Y like some commodity, and if B country exports that commodity and A country imports that, and A country should pay that in gold and silver. So what their aim to maintain huge amount of the gold and silvers in their royal treasuries, the European nations started exporting more and more commodities and decreasing the imports very less. And ये imports में tariffs लग रहा था. So what is meant by tariffs? It's a form of tax. So let us take a commodity. It is 50 rupees in B country, and A country doesn't want it should be imported because it is produced domestically also for 55 rupees. But here cheap से आया था. So इसमें 10 rupees additionally A country ने लगाते थे as tax. So that will be considered to be as tariffs. So heavy tariffs were imposed on the imports, and sometimes complete prohibition is also imposed on the imports. So इसी वजह से they used to keep more amount of the gold and silver in their royal treasuries, and this is the economic regulations happening at that time. So this was related to the mercantilism. So what are the effects and impacts of this mercantilism? So mercantilism की effect और impacts क्या था? I think you people were you people have understood this mercantilism. Mercantilism is not a simple concept that the European nations wanted to keep as much as gold and silver reserves with themselves only, and to keep that they are exporting more and more commodities, so they can earn more and more gold and silver in return from the other countries, and they are importing very less, so they can pay only some gold and silver as a currency to the other nations. So this is the mercantilism at that time, and the present definition of the mercantilism is regulation of economic affairs, especially trade and commerce by the government. And what are the effects? So mercantilism have demanded the colonies. Colonies means these European nations have went to the Asia and they have subjugated them. I have said no, subjugated them, occupied them, and they were made as a colonies. And like a European country or the European countries will be considered to be as like for suppose England will be considered to be as mother country, and it is considered to be as colony. So if the colonies could made to supply those goods and commodities which was not produced by the mother country, then this mother country were not necessary to pay gold and silver to these colonies. So there is a conception of the colonies have arisen, and they have said that these colonies are only meant for the benefit of the mother country. So there is a conception of the colonies as these colonies were exploited and they are there only for the benefit of the mother country. So the mother country rolled very wealthy because for the commodities which they are getting from the colonies, they need to pay gold and silver, and in turn they were paid very less, and the colonies were drove to the poverty. So another important effect of this mercantilism is the birth of colonialism. It is very important. So the birth of colonialism. So colonialism ki birth start hua tha. The motive behind them was trade of a country could be increased. So if a country or the England want to increase the trade, then it should decrease the trade of some other X or Y country. So that is the main intention or the motive behind one country. So the net result what happens if Dutch country ki trade was reduced by England. So the Dutch and England will come for a fight, or the rivalry will happen between these two European powers. So there is huge amount of the wars happening between different nations. So birth of colonialism has led to the great amount of the rivalries between the nation states of the Europe. And the third effect of this mercantilism was commercial colonial rivalry. This commercial colonial rivalry had led to emergence of capitalistic tendency. कैपिटलिस्टिक क्लास और कैपिटलिस्टिक टेंडेंसी को emerge किया था. So what is this capitalistic tendency? Like we have to do the business and we have to obtain huge amount of the profit. So this colonialism, like birth of colonialism happened. Colonialism, so the colonies were captured more and more, and the trade of the other countries were hurted. And these countries or one country used to be trade with these colonies. So in turn, these colonies have colonialism started, or the colonial rivalry had led to the capitalistic tendency. So in Europe maybe, ये effect क्या हुआ था? Due to the huge amount of the capitalistic tendency and the capitalistic class rise हुआ था due to these industries and trade and commerce की flourishment से. So they became more rich and rich. So there is a division of the rich and poor was happened in the European continent and the European countries, and the rich becoming more richer and poor becoming more poorer. And due to that, many peasants revolt can be seen. Peasants have revolted against these European countries at this time of 17th and 18th century. And the nobility and clergy have lost their prominence, and the capitalistic class has gained their prominence. And this capitalistic class have supported the king. They started supporting the king, and in turn the king became very absolute. Absolute bole to whatever the king used to say, that is final. So the absolute monarchies were established. Absolute monarchies were established in this period. And national consciousness, the other effect and impact is national consciousness and national competition. National consciousness and the national competition among the European states have started, and this has led to the deadlier wars between the European nations, and it hurted the peace of the world. World ki peace ko hurt kiya tha. Then we will discuss about the another important concept, that is colonialism. Mercantilism complete hua tha. Now we will discuss about colonialism. So what is colonialism and what are the stages and effects of the colonialism we will deal today, and remaining thing will be dealt in the next lecture. So what is colonialism? So the word colonialism was derived from the word colony. The word colonial. So the word colonialism is derived from colony, but the word colonial was first used by communists in 1920. And the colonialism may be defined as a practice of one country conquering, occupying, politically subjugating, and economically exploiting another country. So what is meant by colonialism? It is practice of one country. Let us take it as Britain or Britain. So practice of one country. Britain have conquered India, occupied India, politically subjugated. They have established their rule over India and economically exploited India. So another country is India here. I am taking as an example. So the practice of one country conquering, occupying, politically subjugating and economically exploiting another country is known as colonialism. So European colonies or the European nations have colonized many countries of Asia, Africa and South America. Then we have to discuss about the chief characteristics of the colonialism. Chief characteristics of colonialism. So what are the chief characteristics of the colonialism? First characteristic is the conquest and occupation of one country by other country. So one country conquests or occupies the other countries. That is first characteristic. And the second characteristic is to establish political hegemony. To establish political hegemony over the colonies and their people. Colonies may be or his people may be politically rule karna. Political hegemony means rule karna. Politically like hegemony or politically the power should be captured by the one nation which is subjugating the other nation. So politically colonies par raj chalana. And the third thing is to promote economic and commercial interests of the colonial power. So whatever we have to do, there should be some economical and commercial interest should be involved, or whatever the colonial power is doing, it should be done only for the rich of this colonial power or for the profit of this colonial power. So the mother country will become rich and rich by exploiting the colonies. So these are the characteristics. These are the three characteristics you have to mention in the question also. And what are the factors for colonialism ki birth mein? What are the factors led to the birth of colonialism? First one is geographical discoveries brought the new voyages and due to new discoveries they know very new world, and this new world has led for the birth of colonialism. And the spirit of nationalism and adventure and renaissance also caused for the development of the colonialism. And the third one is encouragement of European nations or European countries for promotion of foreign trade promote करने के लिए European nations encouragement. And the fourth one is the scientific discoveries like invention of Mariner's compass and the theory of earth is round. So due to all these things the people started navigating, and navigating के वजह से mercantilism develop हुआ. Mercantilism के development से colonialism has developed. So this colonialism has three stages. There is three stages of this colonialism. And the colonialism in 16 इसकी birth था 16th century में mercantilism से, like 18th century में colonialism आया था. And from this colonialism finally in 19th century imperialism आया था. So this is the evolution of mercantilism to colonialism and colonialism to imperialism. So there were the three stages in this colonialism. First stage is stage of trade and commerce, that is from 1550 to 1700. And the second stage is the stage of industrial colonialism, and that is from 1700 to 1900. And the third one is the stage of industrial capitalism, that is from 1900 to 1947. That we will discuss now. So the first stage is stage of trade and commerce, that is from 1550 to 1700. During this period, European countries like Spain, Portugal, France, England, Holland has established many colonies throughout the continents of Asia, Africa and America. So the basic concept was these colonies are only meant for exploiting, and these colonies are only meant for the prosperity, or these colonies are only meant for prosperity and wealth of mother country. So ये wealth of mother country increase करने के लिए, prosperity mother country increase करने के लिए these colonies were there. And as such European countries have purchased, these European countries like Spain, France, Portugal, these European countries have purchased like materials or like different commodities for lower rates from these colonies, and they have exported this to the European markets for higher prices. So due to that, what happened, huge amount of the profits were they gained huge amount of the profits. So this huge amount of the profits were led for this huge amount of the profits led emergence of new capitalistic class in Europe. So this, in fact, it transferred the colonial economy to suit the interest of the colonial power. So and even in different countries में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा cultivation थी. So to improvise the cultivation or extensive cultivation के लिए they need labor. So labor से slave trade होना. So this slave trade have started from this. So this is the first stage, that is stage of trade and commerce, that is from 1500 to 1700. Only the trade and commerce used to be done by the by these European nations to the colonies. And the second stage is stage of industrial colonialism. So what is the second stage? It is the stage of industrial colonialism. And the stage is from 1700 to 1900. So at this time industrial revolution has broke out in Europe, and trade and commerce have flourished during this period. And during this stage industrial nations, so these industrially very great developed nations, have purchased the raw materials from colonies at very cheaper rates, and they brought them to the homeland, and they converted them, these raw materials, to the finished products. ये finished products को again they will send to the colonies, and they will sell them for the higher rates. So their double exploitation of colonies used to be done at this period. So this mostly the industrial benefits or the industrial revolution ke benefits were reaped out for the England, because England at that time was a superior naval power. And the third stage of the colonialism is industrial capitalism. So industrial capitalism, the third stage, 1900 to 1947. So industrial colonialism was transformed to industrial capitalism. So like different industrial capitalists invested their capital in colonies में their capital को invest कर दिया था in plantation में, in construction of railways में, in factories में, and they purchased very raw material from the colonies at the lower price again, and they set up the factories at the colonies only, and for these factories they need labor now, so the labor was also got from the colonies only for very cheaper rate, and they used to get this finished product, and this finished product will be sold throughout the countries or throughout the world for higher rates, and they used to reap the profit. So this is the industrial capitalism phase. So what are the effects of colonialism? So what are the effects of the colonialism? So first one is due to the economic exploitation of the colonies को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा economically exploit कर दिया था mother countries ने. So इसी वजह से the colonies were left with poverty and distress. And colonies की cottage industries have totally damaged. The cottage industries or the native industries were steadily declined, and the most of the people who are working in this cottage industries, their livelihood was also lost. And the commercialization of the agriculture was the main theme of this period. So commercialization of agriculture was there. So food crops were not allowed to grow, or the food crops were not allowed to grow because for this plantation crops को लिए ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पैसे देते थे the mother country ने. So all the farmers of this nation or the colonial nations have mostly grown this jute, tobacco and cotton. So इसी वजह से food crop की shortage आया था. Due to this food crop की shortage ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा famines आया था, and even the people have died due to lack of food and food shortage. And only one-way traffic was there. One-way traffic means in the sense the mother countries used to exploit them, and they are becoming very rich. So only exports will be done from mother country to the colonial or the colonies, but imports were not allowed from colonies, or they were never, the mother countries never imported from the colonies, or if they imported, only they have imported the raw material, and this all the imports from the colonies to the mother countries, they have established these tariffs and complete prohibition. And rapid industrialization of Europe has taken place. This is one of the effects. And social evils have also started during this time, like slave trade, and racism is also started, discrimination discriminating the people also started. So above all, have all this thing or the effect of the major effect of the colonialism is led for the imperialism, and this imperialism has led for the world wars. So these are about the different topics that we have discussed, that is counter reformation movement, geographical discoveries and its effect, mercantilism and its effects, and colonialism and its effects. So in the next lectures we will discuss the other topics. Till then, revise this content and have a nice day.